Hello, everybody. So today, um, well, there's nothing going on really, but I'm just gonna talk about a few things that's happened today because free agency keeps going. Obviously, the big moves are already gone. So from there's some crazy, shocking moves like obviously Paul George going to the Thunders, Paul going to Rockets, and Gordon Hayward going to Celtics. That one's going to be what we're going to talk about today, actually, because uh, you know. Uh, okay, also Jimmy Butler going to the Timberwolves. Everybody knows those news, right? Those are not news anymore. So what we're going to talk about today is while we're chilling, playing some Blacktop online. While we're doing this, we're going to talk about the Celtics trade and what's around the Celtics trade. Obviously, the trade has happened, which is Avery Bradley for Marcus Morris. Um, yeah, so we've all seen the news. We all know what's going on. Um, the biggest problem I have with this trade is that what really happened was basically that the Celtics traded away their basically their only shooting guard for yet another small forward to the Pistons, and obviously Pistons have to waive Contavious Caldwell-Pope because of salary cap reasons, I believe. Uh, which is I almost feel like this trade is a lose-lose. If anything, if what's going on with this guy? If First of all, if the Celtics wanted to trade away Avery Bradley for salary dump so that they could get a max deal for Gordon Hayward, it kind of makes sense, right? I'm not blaming them for doing that, but the problem is they traded away one of their biggest assets, which is their starting and basically the only good small shooting guard they have. Um, this could be a very deadly deal for the Celtics, and obviously teams like the Cavaliers, the Raptors, for example, are celebrating right now because that move made the bench structure, the depth structure of the Celtics even weirder than before, right? So when you look at those players on the Celtics team, obviously we have two really good point guards in Marcus Smart and Isaiah Thomas, and you also get Rozier in the mix. All in all, you got a lot of small forward. I mean, I got a lot of point guards out there, right? But that's not the biggest concern here. The biggest concern we have, actually, okay, so the guy left. The biggest concern we have in this game is the overwhelmingly enormous amount of small forwards on the team. Because once you get a starter, which is a star player, Gordon Hayward, he's gonna sign a max deal. He's gonna be the starting small forward for the team. Um, but behind him, you got Jason Tatum, who a lot of people believe is one of the future uh, leading small forwards of the league, essentially. And by not putting him in a starting position, or by stacking him on top of so many other talents like Jaylen Brown, like Marcus Morris, what you really have is a problem that essentially nobody's going to be able to develop under Gordon Hayward. Like that's the biggest problem I have with this trade. Um, you know, Especially when you think about the fact that Marcus Morris is not a typical bench player you have. He's actually quite a good player. If you look at his stats, you understand that he's having a breakout. He had two breakout seasons the past 2 seasons, from being just a typical role player to averaging 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, and about 4 or 3 assists. It's pretty good stuff. Marcus Morris will not be happy in the Celtics organization just because of the simple fact that it's just not going to work out. He's no longer going to average 14 points a game, but more like 1.4 points a game, considering he had to play behind number one, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and even to some extent Jay Crowder, right? Because I think Jay Crowder was listed as a small forward, but obviously when you look at the roster now, he has to play power forward. And also the problem we have with these small forwards on the Celtics team is that none of them actually have a secondary position that they can play. Obviously, we have Gordon Hayward, but Gordon Hayward's not going to play shooting guard. He just doesn't play shooting guards. He's never done it before, and his height is pretty tall, and he's just a small forward throughout the year. And obviously you get Jason Tatum, same thing. He's 6'8", 6'9", with like terrific wingspan, so he's not going to be a shooting guard for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown may be the only one who can actually move. But then again, when you look at the power forward position, it's also pretty weak for them, right? When you look at, for example, Marcus Morris. Can Marcus Morris play power forward? Well, the answer is no, because guy cannot even average like seven rebounds a game. He averages like five rebounds a game, which is clearly not enough. So overall, you got a huge problem here. Basically, when you're talking about the Celtics, you get a super strong 1 position and a 3 position. When we get down to the 4 position, or even a center position or a small shooting guard position, they're pretty lacking. They're actually pretty lacking. And then you're talking about how they have to beat some really good teams like the Cavaliers, for example. You have to have an all-around team. You have to have an all-around lineup to face a good team like the Cavaliers. And I just don't think that just by having 2 good positions in the game magically solves the problem of like somehow manages for the Celtics to beat the Cavaliers. It's just not going to happen. Alright, we're going to focus on the game now. Enough talking. So this guy, the same guy came back to play, but obviously he has a pretty good team. He has a pink diamond, Bob Pettit. I got Isaiah Thomas, the Sapphire version. I have the Diamond Kawhi. Obviously, Diamond Kawhi needs to do a lot of scoring. I'm having a lot of lag right now. As you can see, I don't know what's happening. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's good. I mean, initially when Bob Pettit came out, I mean, when I put him on my team, I was pretty happy with his shot. He was on my lineup for the longest time. I mean, by longest time, I really mean 2 or 3 weeks. And then I completely eliminated power forwards from my lineup. Because this year's power forwards are basically crap. None of them are actually really good. Kevin Garnett probably is the only good one, but then I don't have him on the team. Come on, that's just dumb. Oh, and then Isaiah misses that. Man, not a good time. Not a good time. Pull off that. Let's go. Yeah, like this year's 2K17's game, there are no good power forwards. And what's this side doing? The thing about Bob Pettit is that Bob Pettit is pretty damn short. He's like 6'9". And when you compare him and Larry Bird or Kevin Durant, he basically has no strength over those two. I have a diamond shoe on Larry Bird. So he has 94 speed, 94 acceleration, 93 speed with ball. So that guy's speedy. When you look at Durant, obviously, even more so. That's not the goal. Oh, okay. So Bob Pettit is hitting that shot. And Bob Pettit doesn't really have that many badges either. So that's another problem. Overall, this year's game just doesn't produce any good power forwards. Obviously, people talking about Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is the highest rated player in the game. But, is he a good power forward? Not really, because his height is really short. He's 6'6". He's got hustle rebounder. But, he's still not going to compete with the taller players out there, just from a very, very simple height perspective. The lag is so surreal right now. Please hit that shot. Thank you. I'm just chilling on blacktop right now. That lag, I just wasn't able to move anywhere. Is he even gonna play play on-ball defense? I mean, I think he's off-balling, quite honestly. I think he was guarding Isaiah Thomas all the time. Yeah, I think this guy's a massive off-baller. Good shot. I don't understand what's wrong. What's happening with all the high layups? That's very strange, also. Block that. Oh, come on. He's gonna pass. He's gonna dish it out. Let's go. Kawhi with the Hall of Fame pickpocket and 98 steal. Yo, this guy, man. Kawhi Leonard is one of my favorite players now. Okay, Jason Williams. That is Jason Williams, right? I'm not even sure anymore. Bob Pettit, okay, he's not going to be able to stop Kawhi. I mean, he did, but... he's off-falling on Kawhi for sure. Let's see what we can do on him. Yes, draw that foul. See, the thing about playing with off-ballers, you just want to constantly dish the ball to whoever he's using. This way, not only that demoralizes him in his willingness to off-ball, also you show that, you know, you cannot really do that to me because I'm going to give the ball to whoever you're guarding. Obviously, it's not going to work all the time, but it's going to work most of the time. Yeah, he's going to shoot that. I'm being pretty lucky. I'm getting pretty lucky in this game. Yeah, that's a good shot. Oh, Isaiah finishing, getting rebounds over Bob Pettit, though. Yeah, he jumped. He jumped all right. That's a green. That should be a green shot. Doesn't matter. As long as you hit that shit, it's good. Kawhi Leonard, good shit. Yeah, that's good. It's gotta be good. Alright, one more three-pointer, I win the game. Should I try to take a one-pointer? Oh, yeah. He's off-balling. He's off-balling. Right. He shouldn't do that. This here, okay, one of the biggest glitch that I don't think a lot of people talk about in this game is that when you off-ball, if you drive straight down the court from the side, you're going to get an open dunk. The CPU just tends to stay right in front of you, right? But when you actually go sideways, all of a sudden driving down there, you basically get an open shot. That's good. Oh, come on. Yeah, so, okay, I'll demonstrate right here. So basically, he's going to off-ball me. I'm going to pass it to Kawhi. Just let him drive straight. And the CPU, okay, this time is different because somehow I think he decided to on-ball for a bit. It's open mid E4, yeah, that's good. Nice game. Kawhi's got pretty good. I mean, he's missed a couple threes, but besides that, we won the game easily. So what else is going on out there? Okay, let's talk about the Warriors. The Warriors have been hitting up big lately. They got so many good players, from Nick Young to Omni Caspi. I think both players are very underrated. When you look at their stats, they're averaging pretty good numbers. Especially Nick Young. A lot of people think that, he's not that good anymore. But, even back in the days, the 2 seasons ago, where Kobe was still active, Nick Young was able to be basically the second best player on the team. He was the beta dog. And now he's shooting like over 40% from threes. I think it's been pretty great for him. The same thing goes to Omni Caspi. He's also a great three-point shooter. I think both of them can fit right into the system. It's going to be awesome. Okay, we got Dominique here. So, from my standpoint, I don't think any team can beat the Warriors this year. Last year, nobody came close. A lot of people say that, without Durant, the Warriors couldn't do well. But that's basically irrelevant because Durant's going to be on the team for another 3 years, essentially. So we're having a full-on Warriors dynasty era in the NBA. I don't think any team can challenge that. This is also one of the things I want to talk about Durant, because a lot of people talk about how he's kind of a snake. He snaked Russell Westbrook, which, yeah, I mean, everybody understands that. I'm not stupid. Of course I know he didn't do the most loyal thing, right? the least he can do is probably do something like Paul George would do, right? Saying that, I'm leaving the team, so just trade something, get something. Instead, the Thunders didn't get anything for Durant, which is pretty bad because, after Durant left the team, who do they have, right? Basically nobody, besides Russell Westbrook. So basically, their team was doomed to fail, which is terrible. But obviously now they got Paul George. The thing is, Durant, although wasn't really loyal to the OKC community, he was extremely sacrificial in the Golden State community because he wanted to stay with the team, and he actually took one of the biggest pay cut in modern NBA history. Basically almost like $10 million a year. That itself is pretty unthinkable, considering how, LeBron James, for example, he would never take a pay cut. And that is why the Cavaliers are in trouble right now. Right? The Cavaliers are in trouble because of a number of things. First of all, like, there's just an overflowing amount of talent on the Warriors, but also the fact that LeBron doesn't want to take a pay cut. So how are they going to move around players, They are still, at the end of the day, one of the highest paid team with the highest payroll ever, the Cavaliers right now. So that disables them from making more moves to get more superstars to put them at Golden State's level. Because when you have a team like Golden State, somebody's going to take a pay cut. And last year was Stephen Curry because, well, he didn't take a pay cut. He was just on a cheap contract. But this year, it's going to be Kevin Durant. And that enables, for example, Iguodala to stay with the team. Where are you going, buddy? For example, right? So if you want to have a super team to compete for the title, not only do you have to have some of the greatest talents in the world, which I do acknowledge the fact that LeBron's definitely one of them. Where's LeBron going? He's definitely one of them. But the problem is, he doesn't want to sacrifice the pay cut, nor does anybody on the team. And then you get players like Tristan Thompson, for example, who's going to take a huge payroll, but not doing the job that a max contract player should do. And then your team is just in huge trouble. Don't reach. Yeah, like this is also why I feel like the NBA is in a pretty bad situation right now, considering the fact that basically when you get a team that's like the Warriors, they want to take pay cut, they want to collect superstars, and all the players are fine with it, then that team becomes super hard to beat. Even out in the East, for example, nobody's going to compete with LeBron. That's just a fact. And like, some people talked about how Celtics might have a shot, but as I just talked about like 10 minutes ago, I was saying how, they can't because, they only have essentially two good positions. And the other three positions are pretty weak. And if you have that problem, obviously, you're not going to compete with the Cavs. Let's try the half-court shot. Yeah, no, that's not good. So, at the end of the day, the biggest problem we have in the NBA is that, well, people like Adam Silver, for example, are trying to say that we should expand the league to Mexico City, for example, and to like anywhere else in the world, really. But the biggest problem is the NBA can't really run with this many teams. I almost feel like there are too many teams in the NBA right now. Because back in the heydays, there are like 12, 13 teams. And then they got some expanded teams like the Spurs, the Heat, for example. And they got an ABA, NBA converge. And then you get more teams out there. But the problem is, right, like, as of now, most of the teams can compete. And they won't be able to compete for a long time. For example, the Sacramento Kings, right? Has they ever come close to winning? Never, ever. The only year they were good was 2002. And that year they had a shot at being good, but then the NBA doesn't want that to happen. Right? The NBA rigged the game so then they cannot go to the finals. Like, well, is there any better proofs to say that the NBA has too many teams right now? That's why a lot of the markets are struggling right now, and the salary caps are not increasing at a fast at the pace most GMs and presidents wanted to anticipate, because obviously a lot of viewerships are declining. For example, in this year's Eastern Conference Finals, who's gonna watch that crap if you know that the Cavaliers gonna sweep their ways to the finals, basically? And Western Conference Finals, Conference Playoffs has only one good series versus the Spurs versus the Warriors. But then Kawhi got injured. So basically, at the end of the day, none of the games were really worth anticipating, you know. I mean, everybody wants to be a dark horse story, but with teams like the Cavaliers, the Warriors out there, you know, a lot of the markets are going to be are going to be in huge decline for obvious reasons. Let's get back to the game. So actually, we're tied right now. Just realized that. So we're 7-7. He has a Sapphire Harden. Let's check it out. Oh, 92. So he has an Amethyst Harden. Gold Dunleavy and Emerald Grant. So I have Dominique and LeBron. Okay. This Dominique is super weak. This Dominique cannot shoot any threes, any shots whatsoever. He could be a great dunker in the game, but this Dominique's weak. I have the Diamond Dominique, which is the better player. But like, the Diamond Dominique also is not that good of a shooter. I think 2K never does Dominique justice. Because like earlier part of the year, I was talking how, you know, they finally did him justice after 3 years because I thought that Dominique was pretty good. But as the year turns out, you know, that Dominique was good for like a month and a half, and then people like James Harden started to get into the game. And again, Dominique was getting slept on yet again. You know. Guy's not dribbling, I have to reach there. I'm not a spam reacher, as you can see when I play the game. You know, I don't spam reach. I just press reach when the other guy's just acting stupid. Oh, come on. He's going to give LeBron open 3. How does LeBron miss that anyways? This is LeBron super OP. Oh, come on. Rebound. Lucky. Yo, he didn't drain that shot. That's shocking, because I thought that shot's for sure going in. Let's hit it with a step back. Behind the back. Yeah, he's out of here. That's good. Come on, LeBron. So yeah, we're not stretching the lead. It's still 4 points. Yeah, that James Harden's a good god, man. When that James Harden got released, basically it was indicative of the type of game 2K was going to play this year. Nice shit. Because I believe James Harden dropped that game in Christmas Eve. I'm not sure. So Harden had this massive game where he had like 17 rebounds, 16 assists or something, and 50 points. 53 points, if I remember correctly. But he had a crazy game. And then after that game, they gave him an amethyst, which is basically a diamond. LeBron gotta hit that. And after that, all the cards in my team just got just shot up like a rocket. You know, all of them are having like low stats, low overalls, but super high stats. And at the end of the year, you know, when a 95 LeBron James is basically a 99 overall, and then they have this 98 LeBron James, which is, of course, 99 overall, but it's pretty crazy. Obviously, everybody knows about the intangible ratings and stuff this year, and that's the reason why players like LeBron, for example, are only 98 overall. Fun fact: if you actually raise LeBron's any stat by 1, you have a 99 overall. He has 25 intangibles, which means that he's definitely like a 99 overall worthy. But you know, if you add any stat to the current existing stat to the card, you get a 99 overall. And that's why when I put a shoe on him, and when I put a diamond shoe on LeBron, he just gets to a 99 overall. But then again, not like overall is just a number, right? Because you know, it's not like he wasn't 99 overall before that shoe, anyways. Alright, let's play one more game before I call this a day. This time I'm going to talk about some Summer League shit. So I hope you guys were watching the Summer League because it's pretty entertaining so far. Well, actually, to me, I don't watch full games. I just watch a lot of highlights. But you know, a couple of guys are killing it right now. Jason Tatum's awesome. Like I think Jason Tatum just super dominant. Markelle Fultz did pretty good also. Like he had a couple of games where he had like 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and like a lot of points. One game he got 20 and 5. You know, if that's any indication of how good he's gonna be. Markel Fultz, man, he has like huge, crazy potential. And also Lonzo Ball plays today. Friday, we'll see Lonzo in a Lakers jersey for the first time. I can't wait to see that. Obviously, everybody like there's so much hype surrounding Lonzo, from his dad LeVar hyping him up to a lot of things we can talk about in some complete other videos. But we're just gonna predict what's gonna happen tonight. I hope Lonzo comes out doing well, but obviously I don't think he's gonna be that crazy. Oh, come on, he's off following me. Yo, I got blocked. Just go there. Oh, defender is so slow. I was dragging my defender to go to. What's he doing? I'm out of here, man. How does Curry not shoot that? Now I remember Ruby Curry shooting that like crazy. Ruby Curry, who had like no badges and stuff. Come on. My defense is terrible. Okay, just give up. 1 point, that's okay. We're in a huge deficit right now. Yeah, this guy's trying to on-ball my Curry, but that was a smart play. I just run a pick and roll, but then turns out Zach LaVine was just going inside. Who is this guy? Let's go. Doesn't matter. Oh, come on. Dude, how does that Peja Stojakovic so fast? Yeah, let's do a goaltending. What's going in anyways? Yeah, Steve Kerr? Is that not? Oh, green release from half court. Here we go. Let's go. Good shit. What the hell? Man, I'm starting on a low. That is Steve Kerr for sure. Let's get a rebound. I'm gonna wait. He's gonna come and reach me. He was huge on reaching me last time. Yep, now he's jinxed. Let's fight it again. He's out falling now. He's out falling on Peja. You can see them doing that kind of things, you know. It's so obvious. You cannot off-ball me because obviously I see it through. So yeah, we can talk about some prediction videos later in some future videos. Can't wait to do that. Share more opinions next year with you guys. Obviously, I love the NBA. I'm a huge fan. So the last thing I want to see is to see the NBA fail. But with that said, I just feel like the NBA is going to a direction where there's some monopolies killing all the juice of the playoffs and the seasons, because of course I wish all the teams to do well, but at this point a lot of teams are just saving for the future, because LeBron's getting old in a couple of years. Golden State. Oh, okay. Realistically, Golden State wouldn't be staying together for like more than 5 or 6 years. Something's gotta happen between 4 superstars. So yeah, I think sooner than later, the NBA will have more hope. But before that, the NBA has been being monopolized by just those like 2 or 3 teams out there who have a real shot, and the rest of the teams who have a real shot at making however far they're supposed to, but don't really have a real shot at winning the championship. That shouldn't happen, because never in any era of the NBA you have dominance like that. People were like, oh yeah, the Celtics and the Lakers were winning all the championships in the past, right? Why don't you talk about that? Well, that's true, but like back then you got like a lot of teams have real shot at winning the championship, not just the Celtics and the Lakers, right? I mean, earlier part of the league, that's when Bill Russell and the Celtics were dominating in the early 60s and late 50s, all the way to the late 60s, of course. But back then, we got teams like Bob Pettit and like the Hawks. Oh wait, that's way too early. But you also got the Lakers, who were pretty good with Chamberlain. Later on with Jerry West, but that's even later. But The point is we got Elgin Baylor with the Lakers. There was always competition. And now, for the first time in a long time, our playoffs don't have much competition. It's not the fact that it's the same number of teams winning the championship every year. It's just that, the competition level is pretty low. Even in the 80s, the heyday of like Lakers versus Celtics, you got the Sixers who won the championship with Dr. J. You got the Rockets who were on the rise in the West. They were awesome. You got the rising Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, which was a huge attraction. Of course, there are teams I haven't named. They're pretty good also. Mark Price with Cavaliers. Sidney Moncrief for the Bucks. The list goes on. And the worst thing is, there weren't that many teams back then either. There were a lot of teams already, but like we now have more teams with less competition. When we talk about, for example, the Eastern Conference, what do you really think about, right? Nobody. Maybe the Celtics, who have those players out there. I don't want to repeat what I said, but we got the Celtics doing that. We got the Raptors. The Raptors don't even have a shot to win the championship over Cleveland, to be honest, unless LeBron injures or something like that. I'm not cursing him. I'm not trying to hope that he gets injured. I'm just saying that unless that happens, the teams like the Raptors, who are one of the quote-unquote elite teams in the East, even those teams don't have a shot. The Sixers, depends on how good the Sixers can do this year. They're kind of like the Timberwolves stories of last year, which is like super optimistic. The future looks pretty bright, but anything is possible. For the Timberwolves last season, for example, right? There weren't any significant injuries, but it's just that the players out there they just aren't performing at the level they're expected to. And at the end of the day, well, obviously Chris Dunn was a bust, but like besides that, we expected Andrew Wiggins to be more like Kawhi Leonard to the defense because of Thibodeau, and we were expecting Karl Anthony Towns to go even better than the previous season before that. But at the end of the day, they were still a lottery team and a high lottery team, and that's a problem, And to be honest, the Sixers can totally be that team again this year because they've got a lot of great young talents. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that oh boy. I'm just saying that there's so much, question marks, so many question marks out there, Besides those teams I just talked about, I don't see any other real contenders in the East. Maybe the Wizards are pretty good, but then again, the weird thing about the Wizards, they're just on and off like from year to year. One year they could do pretty good, and the next year they're gonna totally bust out, like last year. The year before that, they went to the second round. They were great, and last season they didn't even make the playoffs. And this season, obviously, they made it all the way to the semis again, and almost got into the conference finals. But they're just inconsistent. You can almost say that. If they get good one year and bad the other year, then this is supposed to be the bad year for them next season. I don't know what am I talking about, but still, I just feel like that the Wizards are good, but they're not great. They're not consistent enough, and if something happens between Beal and John Wall, you don't know what's gonna happen to them. Yeah. Jerry Stackhouse, really. Yeah, this team is crap. I'm not playing. No, this is trash. I'll play some other time. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys liked the video. Please leave a like if you like the gameplay. I'm just chilling on there, playing Blacktop. Everything's good. What else am I supposed to say? I mean, one more thing I gotta say before we leave. We only have 2 more packs left. The playoff packs are okay. The game is pretty dead. I mean, if anything, try to pull some playoff packs. I think the odds are pretty high lately. I pulled another Stephen Curry actually, and I've heard a lot of friends pulling out great diamonds as well, like LeBron. Yeah. So there's not much going on in my team. Anyways, Hope you guys liked the video. Leave a like, subscribe, have fun. I'll post a lot more videos in the future. And yeah, have a nice day, guys. Peace.